How would you define home? To me, home is a place where you feel safe, feel happy, a place that's yours. And the concept of not having a home would be horrifying. Well, for VfB Oldenburg, that horrifying thought is a reality. So, VfB Oldenburg were formed in 1897 in the Niedersachsen city of Oldenburg. Shortly after formation, the club started playing at the Stadion Donnerschwee, which was then a cycling track with a bit of grass in the middle. But in 1919, VfB Oldenburg found the funds to buy the stadium outright, making it their proper home. By the 1940s, VfB Oldenburg had become a first-tier side, and they would dip in and out of the first tier through the 50s and 60s. When the Bundesliga was created in 1963, Oldenburg didn't make the cut, but they stayed a consistent second-tier side. By the 1970s, Oldenburg had slipped into the third tier, and that was where problems started to arise. Oldenburg maintained themselves as a solid third-tier side, but it came at a price. The club's debts had been rising year by year, and despite a shock promotion to the second tier, in 1991, it all came to a head. With the club drowning in debt, Oldenburg were forced to sell their home stadium to a group of investors. With their home gone and their heart ripped out, Oldenburg moved to the Marschweg Stadion, a 15,000 capacity multi-purpose ground built in the 1950s. And it was far from ideal. The stadium was situated in a residential area, which meant it was hard to get to and had certain noise restrictions. It was also next to a motorway exit, meaning they weren't allowed to install floodlights. It had a massive running track separating the fans from the pitch, which ruined the atmosphere. All stands except the main stand had no roof, and due to its geography, the stadium directed bitterly cold wind right onto the terraces. There were also no proper toilet facilities, no disabled access, and the ground was littered with obstructed views. And to top it all off, not only was the ground crumbling, but because it was built on a former landfill, it was at risk of sinking into the ground. And it's fair to say the move hit Oldenburg really, really hard. Still in serious financial trouble, at the turn of the millennium, they'd slipped down to the fourth tier and had insolvency proceedings opened on them. Thankfully, the club was saved, but that didn't stop them dropping to the fifth tier in 2005. By the 2010s, the homeless Oldenburg once again picked themselves up off the canvas and established themselves as a solid fourth tier side. And then in 2022, they were promoted back to professional football for the first time in 22 years. But sadly, the club's wounds hadn't fully healed, with them coming straight back to the 4th division, which is where they currently play. And today we're going to have a look at this white elephant of a stadium. We're also going to look at what remains of the old stadium, and of course we're going to have a wander around, explore the city, have a few beers and watch some football. Good afternoon everyone, I come to you from Oldenburg. Behind me is the train station, and to be honest, I have absolutely no idea about the city. All I know is that it's between Bremen and the Dutch border, and it's got a population of about 200,000. Other than that, no idea, never been here, never been near here, so it's going to be an experience for both of us. I've just done a bit of reading, and there's a lot of museums here, but we don't really have time to go to a museum, and I don't think you're very interested in the German fucking pencil museum. One thing I found out about Oldenburg, this is going to sound very Partridge-esque, but Oldenburg has the oldest pedestrianised area in Germany. So, let's go have a look at that. Just as we were on our way to the oldest pedestrianised street in Germany, there's like a sculpture of like a child in the river. It's cool. Look at him. I've searched him up and I cannot find anything. So if you're from Oldenburg and you know what that is, stick it in the comments, because I'm intrigued as to why there's a giant child in the river. Anyway, let's go back to the pedestrianised street in Germany. Look at that, that is the famous oldest pedestrianised street in Germany. So after having a little bit of a wander around, my first impression is kind of mixed. It's quite bustling, it's quite busy, and it feels alive. which is always what you want in a city, especially a small city. That's always good. And, you know, it feels like it's got character. But the centre, like, there's like a high street and it feels really English. Like, half the shops are closed. There's quite a lot of buskers, quite a lot of homeless people. I'll say one thing though, the more you walk off like the beaten path here, the nicer it gets. Like, there's a lovely park just across the road here, and there's like lots of nice greenery, and there's loads of like nice medieval buildings, and everyone's like having a drink outside. It feels a very, very like upbeat vibe. The more you look around, it's it's really pretty actually. Yeah, it's definitely starting to grow on me here. Just stumbled across this lovely little lake. Like, look at that. Yeah, this is definitely a very beautiful city. If you like nice nature, because this is like this park is right in the centre, and it's got loads of like really fascinating buildings just round random corners. Yeah, it's I thought it was alright at first, but now that I've had like a proper wander around, I really like it here. This is a very nice place. Come to Oldenburg if you can. So just as I was about to walk out the park, all the ultras have just walked past. There they are, just over there. Quite a few of them, to be fair. About maybe 100 of them, maybe? Okay, so I have found an Oldenburg beer, in actual fact. Old Pilsner. So let's give it a try. Ooh. Ooh. That's intriguing. Tastes like a craft beer. Anyway, so I thought while we were here, I would tell you a little bit about the whole stadium situation and about their old stadium. So I mentioned at the start that it was demolished in 1991, and for a while it stayed derelict, like there wasn't anything built on it. They couldn't decide what to put on there, and then in 2008 they put like a shopping centre there. I mean, obviously, as we're going to go and see, the stadium that they're currently in, the Stadion Matchday, is completely unsuitable. It's not a football stadium, and it's because of that they've actually very recently released plans to build a new stadium just around here near the train station, near where the old ground actually was. The vote was passed in April 2024, so pretty recently, and they're looking at finishing it in 2029. It's not started being built yet, and it's going to cost, they're estimating around 50 million, but I think it's needed. But I guess we'll see what the actual stadium's like. We're going to head off there now. We're going to have a couple of these, head to the stadium and see if it's as bad as people say it is. Let's go. Now that we are about to get into the football, I should probably tell you a little bit about the two teams. Oldenburg are playing HSV 2, who I actually watched in the Ultimate Groundhop. Make sure you watch it. And it wasn't a great experience really. I didn't really enjoy watching HSV 2. But Oldenburg is a team that I've been really wanting to watch for a very long time. Because the team that I watch, Altona in Hamburg, have a fan friendship with them. Oldenburg are quite left-wing. They're quite tolerant. From all accounts that I've been told, they seem like a really, really nice fan base. As for on the pitch, Oldenburg are 12th in the league and HSV 2 are 5th. But yeah, with Oldenburg, I'm more excited to see the fan base because I didn't know they had like a proper ultras contingent, but I did see them walk past earlier, so I'm excited to see if they're any good. I'm excited to see if this stadium is as bad as people say it is. This could be really good. I'm really excited for this actually. So yeah, let's get inside and watch some football. Literally everywhere you go here, there's like a flat field there, and then there's like, it's just blowing over like these little hills they've got around the side of the pitch. It's so windy, but like this isn't a football stadium. Like the toilets are crap, the place is falling apart. Like you're not allowed to go there because it's just falling apart. There's no roof on all the stands but one, and the stand that does have a roof on like a little crappy canvas roof. Yeah, they need a new stadium and they need it soon. So it's nearly half time. I've gone to get a beer before the queue comes. And like, the honest review is that the support is really good. Really, really good. He's really optimistic, bearing in mind they're in the 4th tier playing for nothing in a stadium that isn't theirs. And there's really good noise and there's a really good turnout, there's good attendance, but it's just so quiet because there's no roof on the stand. See what I mean? You can't even hear them because there's no like echo and it's so far away from the pitch. I mean, there are grounds in Germany, football stadiums without a roof. For example, Lokomotiv Leipzig play in a stadium without a roof. VfB Dynamo in the East play in a stadium without a roof. So it's not uncommon, but it's also the fact that it's so far away from the pitch. It's like the side stand is the closest you'll get and you're still a good 5-6 metres away from the pitch. They're trying, they're making noise, they're making great noise and they're staying optimistic, but I would love to see how good their support would be if they were in a proper football stadium. Off the stands though, the facilities are a little bit lacking. It is not a football stadium. I would imagine a lot of prospective fans are put off. It's just like, it works in the sense that it's got a football pitch, the stands, the separation between away and home fans, and there's a seating stand. It works, but it's not ideal. There's a supporter base there. It's a great town. Hopefully they get the new stadium done soon. I also got so wrapped up in talking, I forgot to mention the score. It's 0-0. Every single game I ever watch in Germany at the moment, it's 0-0. Singing about their old stadium. Even though it's been 35 years, 34 years, you still miss it. Sad stuff, man. That, by the way, translates to need a new stadium. It says it all really, doesn't it? Another game, another fucking 0-0. It's following me around like a dark cloud. But we didn't really go specifically for the match. We went to see the stadium and we went to see the fans. And on the fan front, excellent, absolutely excellent. One of the most surprising fan bases that I've seen. I was not expecting a lot from them. I didn't really know a lot about them before I went, and they were top notch. It was a nothing match, and they so persistent, constant singing, constant jumping around. It was really good. The actual stadium is not ideal, let's be honest. The toilets were fucking portaloos. People were pissing next to the portaloos, and there was like chunks out the ground, like the concrete was falling apart. There was like bits fenced off you weren't allowed to go on. There's no roof, and it's so far away from the pitch. It felt like it was just knackered. And also, what was kind of sad, I guess, was that the Oldenburg fans were singing songs about their old stadium, even though the majority of the fans who were singing it were never born. So it just says a lot really, doesn't it? It says that it's like woven into the fibre of the club, that's their home and they miss it. But yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching. Please, please, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.